Now what I'm going to do is show you the structure of those frames in business mode. So to do this, I'll go back over to the layouts drawer, and what I'm going to do now is search via a theme. So as you know, I can search for all the themes along here, as we've done on the first 2 days. I'm just going to choose this theme called Inco, which is quite a clean theme, so it's going to help us explain the structure of the page. So what I'll do is just go down and we'll take this 3-column layout, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to hold shift and drop this onto the page, and then it drops into the page for us here. So you can see it's now in our fonts, and it's brought over one of our colors as well, and we've got the layout just in here. Our previous layout is still on the page, this is just dropped in on top. So now I'll go back to the layouts drawer, and I'm going to show you a layout from the type drawer. So I'll click here, and you can see this is showing me banner layouts at this stage. If I remove that, look at all of these. I can go for all the body layouts, singles, halves, thirds, fourths, fifths, and it goes on. Lots of different types of layouts. Well, I'm going to choose a 3-column layout, and in here I'm going to select thirds. Okay, so it changes to thirds. Well, why do we say thirds and not 3-column? Well, these layouts are all split into thirds. Look at this one, it's 1/3, 2/3. Okay, so it's split into thirds. This is a 2-column layout, but I'm going to go to the top of the page here and grab this 3-column layout that's split into thirds. Okay, so I hold shift and click, and now that drops it onto the page. Well, here you can see I'm in business mode, and if I look between the type layout there that we've just dropped in and the theme from Inco, well look, these aren't aligned. Okay, so that's no good. We want all of our layouts to be aligned and to look nice on desktop, tablet and mobile. And you can imagine now if we had to have content users, content editors go and start to change this, that could be hard for them. It could even be hard for you. So we don't want you to do that. We want it to just to work automatically. So now I'm going to show you how to do that with our bots in just one click. But it is good to know in this Essentials class how the pages are structured, even if you're just going to use the bots to do this for you. Okay, so I'm going to put this into design mode, and I'm going to draw your attention now to the colors of these frames. This is a very mobile structure. So this isn't CSS now, this is the mobile editor that helps us keep everyone aligned. So this is the frame structure on what you're going to become very familiar with in a logic that just works for everything, works for all users, and our bots are going to look at this and be able to instantly go and change things for you, right? So this is super simple, and it makes everything just work. Like I say, it's a very mobile thing. This isn't to do with other code, but this is why mobile just works. This is the secret to making sure everything is aligned. So we have this bold mustard color on the outside, and then we have this lighter mustard color, and then we have this bolder blue, and then we have this lighter blue. What's the bold mustard? Well, the bold mustard is for our outer padding. So if I click the pencil icon here, it opens up what we call the frames drawer. And in the frames drawer, I've got background colors, background images, effects. I've got more advanced properties, such as border colors and how this behaves on different devices, a lot of advanced settings. But I've got my frames, okay? And the frames where I put my outer padding. So if I look at the top padding here, which is 64 pixels, I could turn that off, or I can turn it back onto 64. So that's our outer padding. We put padding on the outside. Then on the inside here, you can see this bold, what we call block. Okay, so this also has padding, you can see here. So I'm just going to put this to 64 and then back to 32. So the two bolds is what we put padding in. We have the bold mustard, and then we have the bold blue. When it's bold, that just says to everyone that's where we put padding. And we only need 2 lots of padding on any page. So we've got our outer padding and our inner padding. We don't never need any more padding than that on a page. So padding is in bold. Keeps it really simple. So then there's these 2 lighter colors. We've got the light mustard and we've got the light blue. So let's have a look at the light mustard. Well, here's what we call the max width. This is the maximum width that a page will expand to. Okay, so I'm here on a MacBook Pro, which is 16-inch, which is quite large. So what I'll do here is show you what will happen when I move this to 1440 pixels. Well, as you'd expect, it moves out to 1440. Now, if you're on a laptop, which most people generally are when they're doing the course, your laptop is on average 1366 pixels. So you're not going to see this desktop if you put it on desktop. All you're going to see is the 64 padding on the outside, because 1440 is wider than your screen. Okay, so this is why it says desktop here. So I always say to people, if ever in doubt, set it to desktop, because it's quite nice to have a laptop that goes full screen. So all you're going to see on your laptop is the 64 pixels. Even though you've got this set, that means that when people on larger screens like I'm on here, or on a big desktop which is 1920 pixels, they're not going to be stretching the neck left and right. They're going to have a nice contained reading pane. Okay, so what I'll just show you now is that the mobile platform is responsive even in the editor as you're designing. So what do I mean by that? Well, this will actually all shrink down. It doesn't expand past 1440 as we've got set here, but it will shrink. So look at this, how it collapses, and then our blocks actually collapse there and stack on top of each other. So you can see what happens here on mobile. The mobile padding is actually adjusted. So I'll cover this in a second, but on mobile, that 64 is now turned to 16. And here this 32 pixel padding has changed to 16 as well. So that's a little trick. I'm going to show you that just shortly. But here we can see that that is our light mustard, which is our max width. Fantastic. Now on the inside we have our light blue. Okay, now this is our frames for our components. So in here I can embed any type of components. In here I'll put a child frame, and you can see I can put all different types of content in here. I could put widgets, which is our feed, let's say photo galleries or shopping carts or events. I can configure a feed of widgets, or I could put in here text and images. So we're going to cover all of this in the intermediate session, where I show you how we actually build from scratch and layer all these frames out, which is what you're going to learn in the intermediate. But now it's just essentials. So it's essential that you know what this frame structure is. We've got bold mustard on the outside for outer padding. We've got lighter mustard for our max width, and we've got bold for our block, which we put padding around for our components, which are in the very inner. Okay, so the two bolds are for padding. And then just as a little trick here, you can see this one's a little bit different because it's got columns. So you can see our columns here have a parent blue. And again, we're going to cover this right at the start of the intermediate session.